Went from condos to Pop's house. On calls now bus routes.
All right, so there's a story that just came out that I actually want to uh talk about. So I don't watch Love and Hip Hop at all anymore. Back in the days I did. But I don't watch it anymore. But I don't know of a lot of you who have watched it or used to watch it. Remember Rashida, who was a rapper from Atlanta, and she was married to Kirk, who was her manager. But a story came out where it is explaining how um Rashida's son Kai was identified as a suspect in a rapper named T Hood's murder. The story just started developing and just blew up. I'm guessing that they have received more evidence. And for those who don't know, this is the family right here. You have Kirk, Rashida, their daughter, to my far left, and Kai to my far right. So what I want to do right now is just read a little bit of this article, and then we'll talk about it just a little bit, okay? All right, so Love and Hip Hop Atlanta stars Kirk and Rashida Frost's son Kai identified as suspect in rapper's murder. Atlanta rapper T Hood was shot and killed on Friday, August 8th. Now, the police have named a suspect in the case, and it has a surprising connection to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Kai Lasheed Frost, the son of Kirk Frost and Rashida, is the primary suspect in the murder. But was the shooting in self-defense? The case is still evolving, but here's what we know right now. The Gwinnett County Police spoke with Fox 5 Atlanta about the details of the shooting. Their report said that a domestic disturbance broke out at a home between a man and a woman, resulting in the woman sustaining an injury. The shooter arrived at the home shortly after the argument. Gunshots rang out, and T Hood died from his injuries. The shooter remained on the scene and cooperated with the police investigation. Thus, they're looking at the shooting as a possible case of self-defense, but TMZ added more color to the story. According to their insiders, police named Kai as the primary suspect in the shooting. T Hood's mother also spoke to the outlet and blamed Kai. However, it's worth pointing out that police haven't revealed any specific charges. Meanwhile, other sources added further context to the connection between Kai and T Hood. The rapper was romantically involved with Kirk and Rashida's daughter, Kelsey Frost. With what in mind, some fans have accused her of having a hand in the murder. Wow. She took to her Instagram story to shut down that conspiracy. I can't sit back and let the narrative being created go on, she wrote in her Instagram stories. The love of my life is gone. The man I lay with and cuddle every single night is no longer here. So as I want to ask for respect and privacy, I won't, because I will also always defend my baby. I don't condone this crap in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Rashida and Kirk have not commented on this situation, but this is a developing story. We'll keep you updated when more details become available. Wow. It really sounds like this is still kind of a mystery with, understanding what happened. And we can see again to my far left is his daughter. My far right is the son. Now I don't know if this is the daughter that they're talking about, but I'm just saying that's one of the daughters. This is a tough situation because, according to TMZ and what we've heard so far, it sounds like whatever happened, it may have been self-defense. But where this situation gets very complicated is, even though it may have been self-defense, it was his sister's boyfriend. So whatever happened, it led to an argument, maybe fighting, and then someone got murdered, which we all know is T Hood. I get I get tired, man, of talking about these stories where it's young black men killing each other. I get tired of it. It's never fun. I go over these stories because I think it's important for me to do so, because there's not many people that are reporting these stories, but including the faith and including fruits of the spirit, denouncing sinful nature. There's no one that's doing that, so I'm like, I believe this is why God gave me this platform to bring that to the table, because no matter what was going on, it's all sin. It's all sin. For one, why do any of these young, black men feel the need to have to carry their gun anywhere they go? Most of the time you got a gun, the first thing you're going to think is to use it if something bad happens. That's why I never carried a gun. Never. Because I'm like, if I have a gun, even though I will fight someone, but this is back in the days. After I got stabbed, I told God I will never get into a fight again, unless I'm defending myself. And I have not. And this was now over 10 years ago, right? No fights. So I haven't gotten into anything, right? But at that time in my life, if I had a gun on me, come on, you hot-headed, you mad, someone is fighting you, you defending yourself, you're going to pull the gun out and use it. So most of the time, if you have a gun, you're going to use it. So why are you walking outside of your door with a gun? It's like you don't even... When it come down to someone like her son, it's like you don't even come from that world. Why are you going in environments to where you need to have a gun? If that's what happened. This is all allegedly. We don't know anything that has happened when it come down to what occurred. We're just hearing word of mouth right now, right? But I'm just saying, if you have a gun, something happens, over 50% of the time that gun is going to get used. And these young men who come from the same world that I come from, they're not getting therapy. So they're dealing with trauma, anger, tempers, pride, ego. They're dealing with all of these things and do not know how to deal with it when it comes down to being in confrontations. So when you're living in sin, you have a gun, you don't know how to deal with your past traumas and emotions and everything like that. What do you think is going to happen in situations like this? Someone's going to get hurt. A lot of times, someone is going to get murdered. That's why I need everyone to pray when it comes down to these young black men, because the world that they come from, they don't know how to deal with their emotions. They're very defensive. And don't get me wrong, that's something that I still battle with, being defensive. I used to say back then, I'm when it come down to being defensive, I'm like Floyd Mayweather. If I'm defending myself, you're going to lose every time, because I'm the best with the words. And that's bad. I'm not saying it like it's a good thing. I'm just saying. So that's something that I'm still working on when it come down to things that I battle with. Right? But you got to put yourself in a place to where you're starting to take the steps towards growth. And that's what I want to start to see out of these young men, because if not, we're going to continue to hear the same stories. And it don't matter where you come from. Rashida's son, Kai, they coming from $1 million homes. A lot of money. It show you money don't matter. It's not about money. It's the environment. It's the people around you. It's the tools that are being taught or not being taught, the behaviors. It's about all of that. And most of the time, and I can say this because I am black. Most of the time, when you don't see those tools being implicated, it's in black households. Because their parents didn't get the tools that they needed to go out here and teach their kids those tools. So it don't matter if you come from $1 million home with structure and sheltering and all of that, or you came from the slums, the hood. It don't matter. If you don't have the tools to know how to deal with your emotions, trauma that you faced, your behavioral issues, it don't matter. You're going to see things like this happen. One of the fastest ways, man, that you can see people start to transform, get to a different place in life is by, accepting God in their life. That's why I push it so much, because I'm like, okay, you don't have the tools. In fact, you're far away from where you need to be, right? So let's start with step one. Turn your life over to God. Because if you are really following God and you start to read the Bible, you'll start to see a lot of the behaviors and traits that you have. You got to eliminate that, because that ain't of God. That's all sin. So that could be a start. And after that, a lot of these young men out here, they need therapy, man. I always say, when it comes to the world that I come from, 99.9% of black men need therapy. 99.9. Hey, get mad at me all you want. Paul P said it. I believe a 99.9% of young black men need therapy. Because a lot of the things that we saw and been through growing up, it's not for a child's eyes. It's stuff that we've dealt with out here in this world, coming from the streets, crime, being in homes that don't have the tools of dealing with emotions and bad behaviors and all of those type of things, and coming up in poverty, low income, a lot of these things, a lot of the tools are not there, right? So therefore, I believe these young black men need therapy. But people want to just tell me I'm crazy, and things like that, instead of saying, you know what? Yeah, most, if not all, young black men do need therapy. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to kill you. So why not anyways? Why not? So it's sad, man. I hope that both of these T Hood family and Kai's family, with Rashid and Kirk, I hope that they all have healing and they all get through this. And, hopefully sooner, not later, because tomorrow's not promised, they really get on their knees and start to pray. All of these family members, man, start to pray. Because without God in your life, it's not going to get any better. So why not get on your knees, pray, and turn your life over to him, man? Because there's got to be this is a lot. One family lost a loved one, and Kirk and Rashida, now they're about to be fighting for their son's life. So where are you going without God in your life? Where are you going? Where are you going? For real. Where are you going? But when it comes down to all of us, we need to pray for all of them. So let's pray for these families. And, man, let's continue to just try to do whatever we can to put you know, the right message out there to these young black men, because they need us, man. They need us.